Summer fragrances are everywhere. They are light, lively, and profound. For overwhelmed women, these fragrances can transform them from overstressed to calm. They can change an environment from chaotic to peaceful. On today's Stress Talk with Marcyline, we are helping you to discover the secret summer scents that soothe overstressed women. And we're going to get to that in just one moment. Hi there. Welcome to Stress Talk Live with Marceline. This is where we share secrets. Well, not really secrets, but we help women over 40 to live healthier lives through strategic stress management and solution focused self care. I'm Marceline Bailey, and I'm so glad that you're joining us today. I would like to ask you to like, follow, and subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. That's where you see a lot of our newest content, and you get some extra information about what we're doing and what we're working on currently. As to give you a little tease, right now, I am working on building out a website that will include courses, learning experiences for women over 40 so that they can have all of the information that they need to build a lifestyle that is relaxed and calm. Because we want you to have what you need in order to meet the challenges that you face on a day to day basis. We're talking today about the secret summer scents that soothe overstressed women. But before I get to that, let me tell you something that happened to me today. So this morning, I walked our dog, and my husband and I. My husband usually walks the dog in the morning. Today, I walked the dog. I took the dog out. It was mid morning or so, and she did her business. And like a good neighbor, I picked it up. I picked up her poop and put it in the plastic bag that I had. And as is our usual, we walked back home. I put her on a stand. I connected her leash to a stand that we have outside that holds her. And my plan was to walk around to the side of the house and dump her poop, the poop bag, in the trash can. Well, as I was walking around to the side of the house, I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, what is that? That looks kind of strange. And when I looked, I didn't get very close to it, but I stopped and I looked more intently. And what I saw was a snake. Yeah, a snake. It was a black snake. It wasn't a water moccasin because we live close to a marshy area. So, if it had, I know what water moccasins look like. It was just a garden snake. It's a garden snake. It was standing up. Well, it wasn't standing up, but its neck was raised and its head was like this. And it was just looking around. It wasn't bothering anybody. It was just lying there, just comfy and cozy. Yeah. So, needless to say, the poop bag didn't get in the trash can this morning. I decided that the snake wasn't bothering me, and so I was not going to bother it. I left Mr. Snake where he was. I put the poop bag where I could find it or where my husband could find it. And I got the dog and we went in the house. I told my husband, I just saw a snake out there. He said, really? I said, yeah. And that was the end of that discussion. Talk about startle reflex. So let's talk about what we are here to discuss today. As you know, I'm talking about summer hacks that help us to keep our stress levels down. Interestingly, I think during the summer, we probably are less less stressed than we are during the school year when our kids are in school, when the traffic is heavy. I think summer brings a more relaxed pace. I wish we could keep that pace throughout the year. And I believe that we can through, as I often say, strategic stress management and solution focused self care. I think that we can build a lifestyle that is we can in which we can kind of roll with the tide. We don't have to be very rigid, but we can be flexible and we can recharge ourselves in a way that we have what we need to meet those daily challenges. So as we are talking about summer hacks, I wanted to talk about fragrances and scents that help us to stay calm or contribute to a calm feeling. And that's what I'm going to talk about today as I hope to help you discover the secret summer scents that soothe overstressed women. Last week, I talked about the importance of being hydrated and how staying hydrated can help us to lower our stress levels and keep our stress levels low. Today, I'm talking about fragrances and scents. So let's begin our discussion so that we can stay on time, right? Yeah, so we're going to stay on time. So, this information, I actually have the link to the article that I used as a reference for this information. And in each section that I talk about, I'm also scrolling the article link because I want to give credit where credit is due. So um, airscent.com has the article, and it's talking about scent and its connection to emotional well being. Right now, I want to just talk briefly about fragrance and emotion and the connection between those because there is a connection. So, as you know, when we talk about scent, when we talk about smell, when we talk about our nose, we're talking about our olfactory nervous system, our olfactory nerves, right? Anytime that we talk about smell, we're talking about olfactory. So, in this article, they talk about the olfactory response and how olfactory responses are linked to the emotional center of our brain. Imagine that. Imagine that we can smell a certain fragrance or a certain scent, and it can trigger an emotion for us. I think that's very fascinating in itself. And actually, the more we smell, the more we use the sense of smell, the better we become at detecting certain fragrances and certain scents. Our daughters tease me because I can walk into a place, I can walk home and I can say, well, can't you all smell that? And they're like, no, we don't smell it. I was like, how can you not smell that? Well, what is it, mom? And I'll go on to describe it to them. And they're always teasing me about it. But I I think that I just use my sense of smell is very important to me. Think about the foods that you eat. We taste our foods not just with our tongues, but with our smell, with our noses. The first thing we do is when we get our food is usually we smell it. We smell the aroma and we can decide whether it smells good and if it's good enough to eat or it makes us more inclined to eat it. We're excited to eat it because of the smell. We walked into a steakhouse yesterday and we could smell the food. It was like, oh, this smells so good. We can't wait to order. So, our sense of smell is very important and it is connected to the emotional center of our brain. Also, we can correlate those smells or those scents to past experiences. It triggers memories for us oftentimes. How often in my um, when I posted the announcement of the live stream, I talked about a third grade teacher who wore a certain fragrance and how that fragrance, when you person was in a grocery store and they smelled a fragrance that was similar, and it triggered the memory of their third grade teacher. I can talk about fragrances that grandmothers wore. My grandmother always wore a certain brand of lotion, and that brand of lotion to this day, when I smell it, I think about my grandmother. So, our sense of smell is connected to our emotional center, the emotional center in our brain, and it also triggers memories that are very important to us. And those memories, I should say, can be memories that are pleasant memories, or they may be unpleasant memories. The important part is that we want to remember that fragrances can trigger memories, whether they're good or whether they are unpleasant. The other thing about our olfactory system, our noses, they signal the limbic system, and the limbic system controls memory and emotion. Remember, I said that certain fragrances and scents and aromas can trigger memory. That's because it's connected to our limbic system. Also, just to keep you, to connect this to stress and the stress response, the limbic system is also involved with the stress response. So, the stress response, when you think about scents and fragrances, there's a connection not only between memory and emotions, there's a connection to our stress response. Think about when you smell smoke. When you pick up the scent of smoke, it triggers something within. It makes you get on alert. You're thinking something's burning and I need to find it, or something's burning, we need to get out of here. So there's a connection because of the limbic system. So I want to share a study that this article also discussed. In 2011, there was a study done by Masahiro et al., and it was around fragrances. And what they found is that certain fragrances promote positive emotions. Also, certain fragrances lower stress levels. Not only that, fragrances can improve our mental well being and our overall mental outlook. This is very important, and I think it's a key finding, especially when it comes to the use of fragrances and scents for more than just smelling good. We want to keep in mind that there's a connection between what we smell through our noses to our emotional center, our emotional center, the limbic system, as well as to our memories. And there are studies that show that this is the case. But we can use fragrances and scents to elicit positive emotions, to lower stress levels, as well as to improve our mental well-being and our overall mental outlook. So let's talk about a little bit about. Sorry, let me get my notes so I'm sharing the information that I need to share. Okay, let's talk about functional fragrances. What are functional fragrances? What does that actually mean? Functional fragrances. Well, when you think about functional, you think about something that's working, right? You think about something that is working and working well. Functional, it's functioning, it's doing what it's supposed to do, it's doing what it was created to do, it is following the steps that were outlined. Something that's functioning is working, and it's working, hopefully, working well. So, when we're talking about functional fragrances, we're talking about something that is more than something that smells good, a fragrance that's more than something that just smells good. I said previously that we want fragrances and scents to be something that does more than cause us to smell good. You know, we put on colognes. Let's talk about colognes and perfumes for a moment. We wear colognes and perfumes because we want to smell good. We want to smell good. But we also sometimes wear colognes and perfumes to attract people to us. We want them to come close to us. We want them to engage in conversations with us. So we will wear certain fragrances, certain scents to attract people. Not only that, let's talk about bug spray. Where in the region where I live, mosquitoes are awful. They're everywhere. They're horrible. And so we wear bug spray to keep mosquitoes, to keep ticks, fleas off of us, especially if we're camping or we're in a wooded area. So we spray fragrance, fragranced bug spray to keep bugs away from us. So, functional fragrances in this regard is for colognes and perfumes, we may want to use them to attract people to us. Or in the case of bug sprays, we use them to keep bugs away. So, but there's other uses of functional fragrances. For example, functional fragrances can help lower anxiety. They can help us to sleep better, and they can also help us to feel healthier. Not only that, it can help us to stop ruminating, that unhealthy thinking. Remember, we talked about stinking thinking back in January, I think January or February. We talked about how stinking thinking can create negative moods, which increase stress. So, with functional fragrances, we can use them not only to attract people to us or to keep bugs away from us, we can also use them to lower anxiety, to sleep better, and also to feel healthier. It can also help us to clear our mind, and it can help our cognitive functions. There are many people who want um, natural solutions, and that's part of what I share when I talk about strategic stress management and solution focused self care. I'm often talking about natural solutions, things that you can incorporate into your life and lifestyle so that it's not an added burden and it's very easy to do. The same with functional fragrances. Many people want fragrances that are natural. They're not created in a lab, but they come from real things, real plants, flowers, real fruit, fragrances. We want things that are natural or at least based in the natural, the organic material. When we use those materials, again, it can improve our mood, it can lower our stress, it can improve our focus. Also, it can make us feel happy. We can be happier. We can feel sensual. It can also be stimulating. So, these are the types of fragrances that are at our disposal. Does anybody have any questions, any comments? If you do, please feel free to drop them into the chat. We're going to move on because we're staying on time. Want you also to share what are some of your favorite fragrances, scents, or aromas. And again, the source for the information that I'm sharing can be found at this link that's scrolling across. So here are a few things that you can try. When you're choosing a fragrance or a scent that you want to try over the summer, you don't have to necessarily try um, things that you've read about. You're certainly welcome to do so. And I'm going to share a few of those things with you, a few of the scents and what they are known for with you. You can also choose fragrances based on other things. Choose a fragrance based on what makes you smile, what makes you happy. There may be fragrances out there that just make you smile because they make you happy. Choose a fragrance that makes you feel relaxed. It doesn't have to be what is known as a relaxing fragrance or scent, but you can choose something that makes you feel relaxed. Also, if you want a sensual vibe, choose something that turns you on. It could be anything, right? It could be any fragrance that really turns you on. Um, the reason I'm saying that is because one of the things that we focus on here at Stress Talk, we focus on individualized, personalized strategies. So, although I may share general information with you during Stress Talk and Stress Talk Live, I also want to be able to work with you to help you to plan and create a strategy that is personalized, that is for you only. Because I believe that we can do all kinds of searches to find solutions, but we need personalized solutions, solutions that fit us as individuals, that fit us, that fit our lives, and fit our own lifestyles. The other thing about what you can try, you can read and experiment. For example, this article that I was talking about that's found on airscent.com talks about apples. The fragrance of crisp apples has been found to decrease headaches and migraines. Just the fragrance of a crisp apple. Imagine that. You can just smell an apple, a crisp apple, and it can help you get rid of your headache. Try it. Try it one day. The fragrance of cinnamon. Cinnamon is also known to improve cognitive functions. Cognitive functions, we're talking about thinking and our executive functions, thinking, things that we do with our brain, with our mind. Cinnamon helps with that. The smell of cinnamon. We're not talking about ingesting, we're just talking about the fragrance, the aroma of cinnamon. It helps with cognitive functions, memory, as well as attention span. Orange and lemons, citrus smells. Citrus smells are energy boosters. They can also reduce anxiety as well as irritability. Think about when you eat an orange. Not only are you eating an orange that's juicy and it's hydrating, you're also smelling that citrus. What does that what does that aroma do for you? Does it give you energy? Does it lower your irritability? It improves your mood? Try it and see. Just be mindful as you are smelling citrus or as you are smelling lemon. I love lemon. I like the smell of lemon. Um, I think it does energize me when I'm around lemon. I think it gives me that boost. What about fresh cut grass? Fresh cut grass. Now, fresh cut grass reminds me of summer days in my hometown of Maple Heights, Ohio, on a Saturday afternoon because Saturdays were the days that my mom and my dad were off. And usually my mom and my dad would cut the grass. My mom would work in the yard as my dad was cutting the grass. And just the smell of that fresh cut grass reminds me of those times. The the comfort of growing up in our neighborhood, our neighbors who would be out talking with all of us, riding my bike down up and down the street, playing with our friends in the street or in our backyard. But when I smell fresh cut grass, it brings a memory that is very pleasant to me and very warm. It's a nice memory. And for that reason, I enjoy fresh cut grass. I enjoy the smell of it. And even now, when my husband cuts our grass, I like that smell. There is something that's very comforting to me about the smell of fresh cut grass. Well, guess what? Researchers have found that the smell of fresh cut grass elicits feelings of joy as well as relaxation. How about that? Well, it does for me. I know that. That's for sure. Another fragrance that I want to share with you is that of lavender. Now, I love lavender. Lavender is known to be cause relaxation. It also has sedative properties. So you'll read that there's recommendations when it comes to lavender to put lavender, spray your pillow with lavender, or have a lavender, put lavender fragrance in your room because it's calming and it can help you sleep. Lavender can also be a stimulant. So for those of you who are using lavender as for sedative purposes, just keep in mind that it can also be a stimulant. So you want to be aware that if you're not falling asleep and you find yourself more awake when you're around lavender, then that's the outcome for you. It may not be a fragrance that you want to use for sleep. But it can give you a boost of energy. It can help stimulate you. I love lavender and I have lots of lavender around me. I have essential oil, I have body oil, I have lotion, I also have powder, and whoo, I just dropped it. I also have my favorite sachet. I love I love this sachet. And I actually keep it in my closet. Um, yeah, I just keep it in my closet and it fills my closet with the best fragrance, the most peaceful fragrance. I love it. And when some of that fragrance kind of dies down and I don't smell it, I just give this a little squeeze and a little shake, and it freshens it. So I'm just a lavender person. I love, 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 love lavender. I buy lavender everything. I even have, if you can see over my shoulder, yeah, my little lavender plants there, my lavender. I love lavender, and there's a company that I um, I get my lavender goods from. This company focuses on lavender. They only sell lavender products, and I love it. I walked in the store. I was in so in I walked in the store in Savannah, Georgia, and I walked in and I just stood there and went, I just let out a sigh, took in a deep breath, and the owner of the store said, "Would you like a basket?" I got a basket. My husband treated me to my lavender. I love lavender. Why do I love lavender? Okay, yes. I love lavender because it is a subtle fragrance. It's subtle yet potent. And it calms me. I feel very relaxed when I'm around lavender. Now, I know that's part of its properties, but I feel relaxed. I feel like I'm outdoors somewhere just chilling. And that's how much I love it. I enjoy it. So you can find a fragrance that does the same for you. It doesn't have to be lavender, but it can be the fragrance that is for you. And I encourage you to do that. I encourage that. So we have been talking about discovering the secret summer scents that soothe overstressed women. And what I've shared with you, I've shared fragrance and emotion and the connection between the two. I've also shared functional fragrances, what they are, and what you can get from them. And then I shared what you can do, how you can try this, what you should try in order to find the summer scent that fits what you need in order to lower your stress and boost your energy. Whoo! There we go. That's all. I love talking about fragrances and scents and aromatherapy. So, and we'll do some more of that. But right now, we are sharing summer hacks to help you to lower your stress levels and boost your energy in a way that is strategic as well as solution focused. I want to remind you to like, follow, and subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, go to this link and subscribe to our Stress Talk in Print newsletter. That's where I share lots of helpful resources for you, as well as stress tips, stress management tips, and self care actions you can take that are easy, solution focused, and strategic. Well, that's all for now. I'm Marcyline Bailey. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad to see you again. As always, take good care.